The wedding hall was filled with whispers long before the ceremony began. Some whispered with admiration, others with doubt, and still others with pure disbelief. For Anna, the bride, the chatter was nothing new. She had heard it for months, people questioning her decision, her future, her very sanity. Why would such a beautiful, bright young woman choose to marry a man who can't even walk? They asked. But Anna's heart had long ago stopped listening to such voices. The man waiting for her at the end of the aisle, David, was the only voice she cared about. His wheelchair did not define him. His smile, his kindness, his brilliance, and his unwavering spirit, that was what Anna fell in love with. While others saw limitations, she saw a man who had taught her more about life, love, and resilience than anyone else ever could. Anna first met David at the community library, where he volunteered to help children with reading programs. She had gone there on a rainy afternoon, escaping both the storm outside and the storm inside her heart. Life had felt empty then, her relationships shallow, her friendships unreliable, and her dreams uncertain. She hadn't expected to meet someone who would change her entire perspective. She noticed David immediately, not because of the wheelchair, but because of the way he laughed with the children, the way his eyes sparkled when they finally sounded out a difficult word. There was warmth in his presence, a glow that drew her in. When their eyes met, something inside Anna shifted. They spoke, at first about books, then about life, then about everything that truly mattered. From that day on, she found reasons to return. Each visit turned into long conversations, moments of shared vulnerability, and the kind of connection she had once believed existed only in stories. He told her about the accident that had left him paralyzed years ago, a tragedy that might have broken another man but had somehow built him stronger. She told him about her struggles with loneliness, her yearning to find something real. In each other, they found not weakness but wholeness. So when David asked her to marry him, Anna did not hesitate. She said yes with all the certainty in her soul. But outside of their love, the world was less kind. Friends pulled her aside, warning her of the challenges ahead. Relatives whispered behind closed doors, saying she was throwing her life away. Even strangers gave her pitying looks. But Anna's resolve only deepened. I am not marrying a disability, she told them. I am marrying a man who has a heart larger than any I've ever known. And that is more than enough. Now, as the music swelled and she walked down the aisle, Anna felt no fear, no doubt. The whispers of the crowd faded, drowned by the sound of her own heartbeat. Her eyes locked on David's, and everything else disappeared. David, dressed in a simple black suit, sat waiting with a mixture of joy and disbelief. He had always feared his condition would rob him of a chance at true love. But here she was, walking toward him with a smile that lit up the entire hall. His hands trembled slightly on the arms of his chair as he whispered to himself, "She really chose me." The ceremony began, and with each word spoken, Anna and David's love grew more undeniable. Guests began to shift in their seats, realizing that what they were witnessing was not a story of pity, but of extraordinary courage and devotion. Yet, just as the vows were about to be exchanged, the moment that no one could have expected arrived, the surprise that would change everything. The officiant paused, glancing at David. He nodded nervously, signaling that it was time. Anna looked at him in confusion, wondering why he seemed so tense. Then, slowly, painfully, but determinedly, David began to rise from his wheelchair. A gasp spread through the hall as he gripped the handles on either side of the chair, pushing against the strength of muscles that doctors had long declared useless. His legs trembled, his body wavered, but his will was unstoppable. With the help of two braces hidden beneath his trousers, David stood. Anna's eyes widened, tears spilling before she could stop them. "David, what are you doing?" she whispered, her hands flying to her mouth. "I promised myself," David said, his voice breaking, "that on the day I married you, I would not sit. I wanted to stand and look you in the eye, as the man you deserve. I may not be able to walk far, but I can stand, for you, for us, for this love that gave me back my life." The crowd was stunned into silence. Some were crying openly, others covering their mouths in shock. The whispers of doubt that had once filled the air were gone, replaced with awe. Anna rushed forward, her own tears streaming freely, and took his shaking hands into hers. "David, you don't have to prove anything to me. You standing here is not about strength, it's about love. And I see it, I feel it, more than anything else in this world." But David smiled, though sweat beaded on his forehead. I know I don't have to. But I wanted to. Because you gave me back my reason to fight. And this is my gift to you. The officiant, moved beyond words, finally found his voice and continued. As Anna and David exchanged vows, him standing, her holding him steady, the entire hall seemed to hold its breath. It was no longer just a wedding. It was a testimony. A living reminder that love does not see limits, that the human spirit can rise beyond all expectation. And as they sealed their vows with a kiss, the room erupted, not just in applause, but in tears, in joy, in the undeniable realization that they had witnessed something extraordinary.